Speaker, and it's a pleasure to follow my friend and colleague, the member for the Vale of Clwyd. I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to congratulate the member for West Lancashire. She is achieving something phenomenal, I think, here today. I'd also like to thank the Minister sat in her place. I suspect her laser-like focus and winning smile has contributed to getting this into the chamber today. I understand that 11 million people in the UK are deaf or hard of hearing, and we know that deaf people are more likely to have poor mental health, with up to 50% of deaf and hard of hearing suffering from poor mental health compared to 25% in the general population. And they're also, sadly, more likely to be unemployed, with 65% of working-age deaf people only being in employment. It is vital, then, that we do everything we can to ensure that neither deafness nor being hard of hearing is a barrier to participating in society, entering and remaining in employment and accessing services. This is particularly true for around 87,000 BSL users who are deaf and use BSL as their first primary language, who the Honourable Member for West Lancashire has highlighted often have to fight hard every day to feel heard and listened to. I am pleased that action has already been taken to help improve the experiences of deaf people and the hard of hearing, with the government formally recognising British Sign Language as a language in its own right in 2003, and making provision for accessing services by users of BSL in equalities legislation and the public sector equality duty. Rightly, employers, service providers and public bodies must provide services in BSL when it is reasonable to do so, and I am pleased that the government is leading by example, with public health information having been available in many alternative formats, including BSL, during the COVID-19 outbreak. BSL, more broadly, may also be offered in schools as part of the school curriculum. I understand that the Department for Education is working to introduce a GCSE in BSL as soon as possible, and I look forward to reading the government's consultation on the draft subject content when it has been published. However, given the ongoing problems many deaf and hard of hearing people face, it is clear that more needs to be done. This bill is a great step in the right direction, as ensuring BSL has a legal status and that guidance is issued to all government departments on how they should accommodate the use of BSL in each of their responsibilities will not only improve the lives of users, but it will also help to bring awareness to the issues the community faces and help facilitate change across society. Therefore, I will be supporting it today. I also hope that this debate, the bill and the BSL Act Now campaign will encourage more people to take up BSL, much the same way that Rose Aileen-Ellis's fantastic win on Strictly Come Dancing, which I watched every single week. As I understand, it led to a phenomenal rise in people searching for information about sign language and signing up for free training programmes. All that being said, I understand from one of my constituents that there is a national shortage of BSL interpreters, which often leads to difficulties for users who rely on them to access legal or medical services. As a result, I have been told that the deaf community has taken it upon themselves to set up community groups and act as interpreters for one another, and I understand there's one in the northwest, perhaps called Signalise, I think. However, if this bill were to pass, there will be an even greater demand for interpreters, so I'd be grateful to hear from the Minister what plans the government has to increase interpreter provision. As the member for West Lancashire said, let's let loose the talent of deaf people. I would also like to take this opportunity to talk about an issue faced by another of my constituents who has suffered substantial hearing loss as an adult, but who is not a BSL user and instead relies on lip reading and facial expressions. My constituent was recently in hospital as an inpatient and was understandably concerned that the skills and techniques they had developed to manage their hearing loss very frequently could not be used with people wearing face masks, approaching in groups, standing in difficult-to-see positions, and even asking questions in the dark in the middle of the night. This was incredibly distressing and frustrating. My constituent has pointed out that had serious medical matters needed to be discussed, This could have substantially impacted their safety and recovery. I would therefore urge the Government to look more broadly at the issues faced by those who are not BSL users, but who face very similar communication issues. So in conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, I would say to the Minister regarding this bill, yes, please.
Chris Clark.